bees are dying, and our survival depends on them. That's why 4RBs created the Pure Wave Cell, a breakthrough quantum device proven to help hives thrive, doubling colonies and boosting honey production naturally. Every jar of our Pure Wave honey fuels this mission, supporting beekeepers worldwide. Visit 4RBs.com. That's the number 4RBs.com, and use code WITF for 20% off. Save the bees. Save us all!
Where in the Folk is not and should not be viewed as a news source. Any names, places, or likenesses mentioned are purely fictional, and any information discussed is purely speculative. Guest opinions are their own and do not reflect those of anyone else. Where in the Folk is not responsible for content accuracy of any stories that are told or what people do with these stories. This show is vulgar, sometimes graphic, and due to its content, it should not be viewed by anyone, actually.
Welcome to another episode of Where in the Folk. I hope everybody's had a great day since we've seen you last night. And like I said last night, we're the only podcast that don't take off for the holidays. Instead, we triple down. Down.
Bringing some good content.
And thank you for joining us tonight as we go over global domination for our 200th episode. Hey,
Crystal, you've rocked with us all 3 shows.
Welcome to the official 200th episode. 200.
Yeah, 199.5.
Yeah. Jeez Louise, it took a long time to get here, and
we'd have probably been here sooner if we would have counted like the 2 shows before Where in the Folk.
Yeah.
But I think we started counting sometime I don't even think we started counting for a long time.
Yeah.
Before we get started on global control, today I got a phone call because I decided to stay home and clean, and while Mandy went up north to Costco and Sam's Club and get some stuff for the house, and I get a phone call of her screaming in a fit of rage because people kept taking her spot. Like, she'd have her turn signal on and they whip in front of her, and while I'm on the phone I hear her go, "You mother," and then somebody else took another one. And it was I'm so concerned because she's literally the sweetest person I've ever known in my life, and for her to be that pissed off was hilarious, really.
Yeah. she posted about it earlier, and some guy goes, "Oh yeah, when I was there," he said, "what time there was a fist fight," and she goes, "Oh my God, I'm not that crazy."
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. And they wonder why there are just random acts of violence.
Yeah, I told her, I was like, "Hey, calm down, because I'm not with you, and I don't want you to get into a fist fight unless I'm there to watch."
You can record it. So you can record it, put it on the tube, right?
That's a good rule of thumb.
Yeah. You need a witness that's on your side.
Yep.
That way you can at least get somebody that'll say, "Well, they did instigate it. She was being perfectly calm."
She was not.
But you still could have said that.
Yeah, that's true. I would have too. But anyway, we'll go ahead and get fired on up and get right into it.
Right.
Global control. I don't know anything about this content.
Well, we talk about it so much piecemeal. Like, I feel like with something every single week is related to this, but we've never put it all together.
Yeah.
Very true.
That's right. I mean, that's like I said, we're all part of a system that's designed to keep us sick, broken, controlled. But
yes,
Larry's name is Larry P85. Are you 80? Was you born in 85 too? 40-year-olds represent.
YouTube is changing everybody's name up. Like
right.
Crystal's name hasn't been showing right. I'll pop the chat up so everybody can see each other from different places.
It's going right over top of you tonight. There you go.
I fixed it.
Yeah.
I'll just scoot over.
Yep, 40. Yep. And I about pulled my damn knee out the other day.
It only goes downhill from there, just FYI.
Walking. All right, let's get started.
All right, so let's get into this, and we're going to start with electronics that are listening and selling your data.
Mhm.
So we're going to start about when Edward Snowden, former contractor for the National Security Agency, revealed in June of 2013 that the U.S. and several allied governments were operating a vast, previously undisclosed global surveillance apparatus that collected telephone metadata, internet communications on an unprecedented scale. The leaked document showed that the NSA was secretly obtaining records of billions of phone calls made by ordinary citizens inside the U.S., including the numbers dialed, the call duration, and the location data under a program authorized by Section 215 of the Patriot Act. Additional programs, such as PRISM, allow direct access to user data from major technology companies, while upstream collection tapped fiber optic cables carrying international internet traffic, capturing emails, chats, and browsing history of both Americans and foreign nationals with minimal judicial oversight. So the disclosures also exposed a British program called Tempora that intercepted massive volumes of global communications, the existence of X-Keyscore, a system that gives analysis nearly real-time access to almost any individual's online activity without prior authorization, and efforts to deliberately weaken encryption standards and insert backdoors into commercial products. These programs operated largely in secret with only limited briefings to congressional committees and frequent misleading statements to the public and lawmakers about their scope. Snowden's revelations triggered worldwide debate about mass surveillance, led to legal challenges that eventually curtailed some bulk collection practices and prompted reforms to oversight mechanisms, though many of the core programs continued in modified form under new legal authorities.
What's up, Wolfman?
Right there, looking back, we really didn't have a ton of hacking back before that compared to what we do now.
Well, I mean, when I was
more specialized, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, when I was a kid, it was a lot easier to hack, but there wasn't really like a lot of these government sources and stuff wasn't using, the internet and like storage stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
This everybody kind of forgets that this all kind of started with LifeLog. DARPA had created LifeLog in 2003, and this was going to be something. This is where I think all this data collection started. So this was, going to be a media service, and DARPA went offline on February 4th of 2004 after criticism concerning the privacy implications of the system, per Wikipedia. So if you believe Wikipedia,
there needs to be a big asterisk there.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing about this was in February of 2004, this LifeLog media system where everybody's going to upload all their pictures and talk to each other and all this stuff, and the government would have control over it, went offline in February of 2004. On April 13th of 2004, Facebook got its LLC. And so they just basically changed the brand from LifeLog to Facebook at that point.
Yeah.
And we just went with it. Now, the reason LifeLog went down was because of criticism from the public. But some little Harvard kid who dropped out of school made a cool thing, and everybody just kind of submitted to it. Mm-hmm. So that's where all this, I think, started stemming from.
Gotcha.
That was everybody put all their information on there for free. Mm-hmm. They didn't have to hack into anybody whenever you started up the social media. Yep. MySpace was an early thing. Facebook, and then Twitter.
In the beginning, Facebook was almost strictly a college thing, and you actually had to have an invitation to join.
Mm-hmm. How can you get everybody to join except to start it as a you're not invited situation? It's kind of like if you had like a South Park analogy. I like using those. Like when Cartman bought the amusement fair, like the amusement park, he wouldn't let nobody in there. But before he bought it, it was failing. Nobody would come. And when he wouldn't let anybody in, he started letting the little people in to pay for certain things. And then eventually everybody wanted to be there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Larry, you definitely have a point there. You can find almost anything on YouTube now. And Wolfman, do you accept the terms and conditions is the biggest lie in this decade and century. We all tell that lie every time we sign up for something.
Yeah. Nobody reads all the fine
I've
print.
never read the terms and conditions.
I have. How do you know if you agree to something if you don't read it?
Oh, I know, and I should know. But the reality
it's just crazy because they put that like in children's games. Like I downloaded the game recently, and the we call them the T's and C's. The T's and C's was just literally boilerplate legal language. Like, how do you expect a 12-year-old to understand like litigation terms? You know what I mean? Like, it's just ridiculous.
Hey, and when I worked for, corporate America at a call center, that was our go-to when somebody's like, oh, well, my, voicemail's not working. Well, voicemail is a free feature and we do not guarantee service. Well, how am I supposed to know that? Well, it's in your terms and conditions. I mean, that was your fallback anytime somebody wanted to argue that point.
That's true, Larry.
When I worked, it's the same thing. It was working in finance when I used to do that. They'd be like, "Oh, didn't even agree to this," and I'm like, "Oh, you didn't agree to it? So I guess you still have that money, huh?" Like,
right?
The same thing. Like,
yeah, exactly. All right, so then we're going to fast forward 10 years. So nearly every modern internet connection device in a typical home has a microphone and a lot of times camera that can be activated remotely or is always listening for a wake word. And most of them are built by companies whose primary revenue comes from collecting and monetizing their user data. The main categories include smart speakers like Amazon Echo, Alexa devices, the Google Nest Audio, Apple HomePod, smart TVs from virtually all major brands, Samsung, LG, Vizio, TCL, Roku, etc., which run operating systems that track viewing habits and share data with advertisers, and streaming devices such as Roku Sticks, Amazon Fire TV, Google Chromecast, and Apple TV that do the same. Video doorbells and security cameras, Ring, Nest, Arlo, Blink, Wise, Eufy, cloud models continuously record audio and video around entrances and yards, with footage often stored on company servers and accessible to employees or law enforcement under certain conditions. Virtually all smartphones and tablets, iPhones, Androids, and iPads keep microphones active for voice assistants such as Siri, Google Assist, Bixby, and Alexa apps, while laptops, webcams, and many desktop computers have built-in mics that can be turned on by software updates or malware. Smart appliances like certain refrigerators, Samsung models with voice features, thermostats such as the Nest or the Ecobee, and even some microwave ovens with light bulbs with voice control contain microphones. Gaming consoles such as PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, the Nintendo Switch when docked with certain accessories, and children's toys with cloud connectivity also listen for commands. In most cases, these devices transmit audio snippets and metadata to corporate servers for processing, and the companies openly state in their privacy policies that they may use the data for personalized advertising, share it with third-party partners, or retain it indefinitely unless the user opts out, if there even is an opt-out offered. That's a big thing because and a lot of times it's like a gym membership. You can sign up for it like that, but it takes an act of Congress to get unsubscribed.
I don't think there's a way to get your vehicles to stop listening to you.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We recently pulled the trigger and bought a newer car back in whenever it was this year, and I didn't pay for OnStar, but the little OnStar light is always on.
Yep,
it's always on.
Yep, same.
So I don't know.
Same.
I don't know.
And that's when Mo got his Jeep recently. He intentionally looked for one at least 10 years old, so it didn't have all of those features in it.
Yeah.
So he still has a cell phone. So
where this is all going, so the data broker industry, it basically companies that collect and package and sell your data from all of these sources, because it's always everybody usually like fizzles out and finally are just like, well, what do I care? Like, what do I care if they got my data or not? Like, what interesting thing are they going to learn about little old me?
Right.
And you may not have anything. Like, it's not like the government's coming after you, but as we continue to grow in this hellscape of like paid services and ads, everywhere we look now, there's ads everywhere. And these companies are oriented on how can we keep selling more and more and more stuff. And as they do that, your data as a consumer becomes so much more valuable because it's getting harder and harder to sell as everything continues to go up in cost and we continue to not get more money. Like our pay isn't increasing at the rate that everything has exploded in price over the last 5 years.
You're
Sure is.
absolutely
I
correct.
read a political mailing a couple of days ago that said the prices are coming down, but people are buying more or paying more because they have so much trust in it. I'm like, dude, you just lied your ass off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were
You know-
talking about phones yesterday. There's an article that I'll probably put in next week's show that's basically it's to the effect of people aren't buying new phones fast enough, and that's a problem for the economy.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Like, that's a real headline.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is, like I said, like you said, they're doing all of this targeting, but how many times have we talked about the fact that you are thinking about something and you go to start typing and it immediately pops up when you haven't typed but a letter because it starts learning you. You know, you're the algorithm that it is learning from.
I'm just happy that I can type the letter P now and it doesn't autofill anymore.
Nice.
Because they banned that here in Kentucky.
So the data industry, as it stands today, is worth anywhere between $30 and $180 billion annually. Marketing isn't the only thing they do with the data, though. So that's a big one, advertising and marketing. But they also sell your data to banks, lenders, and insurance companies to evaluate your credit worthiness, predict loan default risk, or set your insurance premiums. They use your data for fraud detection and security, under the guise of fraud detection and security, I should say, because this is like government agencies who brokers your data. And they say it's just to detect fraudulent behavior.
Sure.
But you know, we're growing ever closer to a world where we live in where there will be thought crimes.
Oh yeah.
Like detective patterns where you get arrested because the likelihood of you robbing a bank is 10% or whatever, like you name it. They use it for healthcare and pharmaceutical targeting. If they can figure out that you have certain conditions, or if you're talking about maybe I want to lose weight and maybe you are going to the gym and are struggling, and all of a sudden you start getting commercials on, hey, what if you could try this new pharmaceutical and it may help you in your weight loss journey or whatever. And then they whisper the 72 side effects at the end.
Yeah.
And then they use your data for market research and business intelligence, so that they can look at trends, assess competitors, and make strategic business decisions, again, on how to best get you to continue to consume their specific product, whatever the product is. I'm calling everybody out, Shannon. We all have a consumption problem, and it's on purpose.
I do. I have a consumption problem. I do. I buy shit in my sleep. I do. I literally do. Like I'll sit in there and I'll be on my phone and I'll just pass out. And like 2 or 3 days later, I get a package in the mail. I don't remember buying it.
Man.
Something that I've been wanting though. Like the pick guard that I showed you guys off camera last night. I don't remember buying that. It just showed up one day.
That's a problem.
but the money's probably been debited out of your account.
Oh yeah, for
Which,
sure.
part of this is going to be like some dystopic stuff too, because the government holds patents for some crazy things related to thought.
Mhm.
So maybe you're getting compelled to purchase these things in your sleep, Cecil.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I really do. You can ask Mandy. I'm like, what did you buy? And then it'd be like 1,000 key ring holders. I'm like, what the hell do we need all these for?
Yes,
Oh,
my husband has an impulse control issue when it comes to the TikTok shop.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. I also have a spouse that has a problem with that.
that's where
We
Mandy
should start a
Support group.
Yeah.
Support group. My spouse keeps buying stuff off TikTok shop.
Yes.
Mother-
Yes.
Help.
we got rid of the commercials. I've not seen commercial since I can't tell you when.
Do you pay for YouTube?
No, but I don't get on YouTube much anymore. Only when we're in here.
A really smart guy told me recently that if you use the Brave browser, you don't get commercials and it doesn't cost you.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I canceled my paid subscription.
Well,
because
and
of
that's
commercials.
the other part of this that I forgot to mention is you get added to death everywhere, and then if you want some relief from the pain, they expect you to pay for it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's going to be the model, with Toyota and some of these other new cars moving forward is like the heated seats. That's going to be a monthly subscription, or the cooled seats.
Yep.
If you want to play music from your phone through your radio, you'll have to pay a subscription to be able to do that.
You have to pay a fee now for Toyota to remote start your cars from, if you want to remote start it from an app, you gotta pay extra for it.
Wow.
We wasn't there something else we did lately on our Friday show, that some other feature that you got to pay for with vehicles, and I forgot what it was.
Well, there are a lot of things like, say, Amazon Prime recently, within the last 6 or 8 months, you have to pay for no commercials.
And they keep raising prices every year.
Oh, yeah.
$2.99 a month is what it costs you if you don't want commercials on your broadcasting.
I'll pay it.
Me, I do too.
We've basically gotten, we're full circle for sure.
Mhm.
Back to cable prices.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And with ads, if you don't want ads, you're paying all these premiums. All they did was just circle back and make extra money off the no ads thing that cable could never do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I kind of miss commercials. I might go back to them.
Part of my livelihood is advertising, so I should like them more. But that's one thing that I will say about online. At least the commercials I see are relevant. Yep. When I'm watching TV, it's for gout. I don't need that. So,
but it's really cool how they've taken all. I don't like it at all, but it is genius how they took all this and have created a domination over this whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
You
have no privacy anymore. It's a perception. They want you to think you do, but you have zero privacy. If you live in, the only way you're not in part of this is if you live in the wilderness in Alaska or something.
Right. You get off grid.
LifeLock program that you can pay $10 a month. Does it matter? Does a program
Probably
like
not.
that even matter?
Probably not.
Because your social is out there on every black dark list there is.
Yeah,
every bank I've ever had an account with or a card with has been hacked more than once. For 10 years I haven't had to pay for monitoring services because somebody keeps getting hacked. So.
Yeah.
Well, the way that you do that though to keep your bank account from getting hacked is just never have any money in it.
Yeah.
Well,
they would probably put money in my account,
I am not a financial advisor by any means, but I would say if you're out on the internet purchasing things, I will not normally advocate for credit cards.
Yeah.
Only advocate for credit cards if you're able to pay off the balance every month. But any spending that you would otherwise do, I would use a credit card, because if somebody steals it, that's their money and not yours in the bank.
Yep.
Yeah.
Much easier to get a credit card fraud claim
Yep.
than to try to get money back from the FDIC.
Yeah. And and it's really funny because it's been about 7 or 8 years ago, Mo got a phone call from Discover, and they're like, "Hey, did you just spend $1,100 at the Apple store in West Memphis, Arkansas?" And he's like, "No, we didn't think so." And somebody had gotten his number and tried to buy a computer and tried to pay an electric bill, and they knew that's not where we were from, but it immediately flagged it. So,
Yeah.
Not that I'm advocating for them watching me that closely, but in that case. So
the next part of this is home mapping.
Yeah. So you've got robot vacuums like the iRobot from the Roomba series. They create detailed floor plans of homes using sensors such as LiDAR, lasers, or cameras to navigate and avoid obstacles. But this mapping data is often transmitted to the company servers for processing and storage. And in 2017, iRobot CEO publicly discussed potential plans to share these anonymized home layouts with third parties like Amazon or Google to enhance smart home ecosystems. And then, of course, that sparked backlash over privacy risk, including the possibility of data being used for targeted advertising and access by hackers to plan burglaries. Further incidents involved beta testers' devices capturing intimate images, such as a woman on a toilet or a child on the floor, which were shared with contractors for AI training and leaked onto social media despite non-disclosure agreements. It highlights the vulnerabilities in data handling. Similar issues have arisen with other brands, including Ecovac's Dbot models, where firmware flaws allowed unauthorized access to maps and even microphone eavesdropping. And in a 2025 case with an iLife A11 vacuum revealed it running Google Cartographer software to generate and transmit 3D blueprints of homes without clear user consent, complete with a remote disable feature. So then you've got your Wi-Fi routers and mesh systems,
That's
from
the
Euro.
big one.
Huh? Yeah.
There's a lot of people that don't believe in the robot vacuums, or just don't do a good enough job for them.
Right.
But everybody has Wi-Fi now.
Yes, absolutely. And, and a lot of people have mesh. I've looked at them because we have buildings outside of the house. And I'm like, that would make it easier, but maybe I'm just going to hardline that instead. So, they've been caught mapping home layouts through the Wi-Fi signal analysis using techniques like channel state information to detect room shapes, furniture, movement patterns based on how signals bounce off of surfaces. Mm-hmm. And this data collection is intended for optimizing network coverage, but it's raised alarm since it occurs passively without explicit notification, potentially revealing occupancy details are being shared with manufacturers for analytics. Security cameras and video doorbells like Ring and Nest contribute to mapping by stitching together live feeds into virtual home tours that are stored in the cloud. And there have been data breaches exposing footage that allowed reconstruction of floor plans. Other devices like smart speakers with motion sensors or AR-enabled smart glasses have shown similar capabilities, but the core concern across these is the aggregation of spatial data into comprehensive home profiles. And of course, that's data monetization. Floor plans and usage data are valuable. Aggregated maps of homes can help companies understand lifestyle, room usage pattern, or home design trends. Advertisers or partners may find this type of spatial and behavioral data useful for targeting marketing, product recommendations, or urban planning analytics. No. But what else is it going to find?
And they didn't really need all this to do this. Like, people will do this for them. All they need is a cool game. You guys remember that stupid Pokemon game? I'm sure everybody played. Where you walk around town and you gotta catch them all. Mm-hmm. I don't think that was used for anything but mapping. I mean,
Well, yeah.
Makes sense.
Think about so you've got Wi-Fi. Any device you have connected to that, most people have their phones connected to their Wi-Fi. Your phone is connected to geolocation.
Hmm.
So through that data, it literally, think of like two points connected by a string. Your Wi-Fi router is one of them, and your phone's the other. Well, as you move around your house, you've got a static point being the Wi-Fi router, and as you move around your house, it's plotting the whole house. So they know what everybody's house looks like for
Oh, yeah.
sure.
mhm.
Well,
And
and
then
you
if
know,
you have any sort of mainstream video cameras, you also agreed to T's and C's for those video cameras. So
okay, look,
Right.
I've got a full Swan set. I'm currently at 9 bleep cameras because those were recommended by a very good friend.
Yeah, I've got, I think 9. I think
Mhm.
I got 9 right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
know,
Toll.
Yeah,
Jack.
thanks, Tully. They absolutely
There's no-
are great, for what they are. But at the end of the day, now I do not use their cloud service.
look, they've got it
I
without
know.
those cameras.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
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 Mhm.
But
Right.
like I said,
Yeah.
you can pay.
I'm just trying to
Yeah.
throw it out there. Like they've got it any way you want to cut it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if they're not getting it from one place, they're getting it from another.
100.
Yeah.
You know. And-
Just like,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, just like radars. I mean, radars don't have cameras on them. I mean, they work differently. I mean, this stuff right here is working like a radar to map out your house and everything. Do you think it could simply be just for better, more specific advertisement for somebody? Hey, you need this right here. You've got room for this piece in your dining room, or you've got room for this furniture in your living room. Do you think it could be something as simple as that? People just playing around with it to see
look,
what they're trying to get.
that room doesn't look like it's the right depth for the house. What's he got hidden in there? So let's
Right,
run some kind of infrared. Ooh, those are canned goods and ammunition and firearms, and they're hidden.
Surely not.
Because hey, people can come in and confiscate your stuff during an emergency.
Yeah. That, and the scary thing, I mean, if you go down that road right there, I mean, that right there is truly scary, because in Russia, whenever Uncle Joe took over in Russia, the people were hungry and everything else. They saw smoke coming out of the chimney. Well, they knew those people had firewood. They knew who had food. They said, if you're hungry, go to your neighbors and go take their stuff. I mean, it would just, I mean, it could go that way.
And the thing about it is, like I said, with things the way they are in the world right now, that could happen easily in the near future.
Oh, it could very easily.
I mean,
Yep.
So
it gets worse from here.
It does.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It gets a lot worse.
Yeah. Yep. Your turn, Tully.
All right. Hang on. Let me take a break from tweeting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're
You
good.
need me to move on?
Nope, we're good.
Okay.
So I wanted to throw in something about, like we talked about a while ago, reading your thoughts. That sounds crazy to a normal person.
It does.
Like, that sounds like if you would have told somebody in the 1990s that the powers that be would be able to read or interpret your thoughts, people would have called you crazy. You'd been in a loony bin.
I would believe it.
Cecil would have been the only one to believe you. And that's not saying much.
When I was 5 years old, I'd be like, yeah, hell yeah, they are. The government sucks.
So the U.S. government, through agencies like the NIH, the DHS, DARPA, they hold patents on brain-computer interface technologies designed to interpret neural signals for thought-based control of devices. So basically, they can interpret your thoughts to make devices do what you want them to do. And if they hold patents for that, they can probably do it the other way around, where they can at least tell what you want You know, like they can tell what you're thinking. Like they have to be able to do that to be able to have this kind of technology. But this goes all the way back to a 2006 patent for a brain-computer interface that uses electrocartography or I can't say that word. That's a crazy word. Give that one a run, Cecil.
I don't even know where you're at. I quit reading.
Electrocorticography.
There you go. So it's to predict cursor positions on a screen. But so basically, what you see, like the ALS people using today, 20 years later.
I have a nephew that is quadriplegic, and he was just outfitted.
And that kind of stuff. Like even back to the phones for a minute. So your phones now have 18 cameras on the front of them. And
mine's only got 2.
Well, those cameras, I mean, think about like even when you're at the store, sometimes you're like, I didn't even say that out loud that I was interested in that thing.
No.
What most of the time it will see your eyes looking at stuff and can detect based on how long you look at something whether you might be interested in that thing or not and start showing you targeted ads. So that plays directly into that patent.
I'm very happy that I've gotten to the point to where I can leave my house without my phone now. Like I can, like I'll leave it for hours. Like, and when I get off work, typically I turn the damn thing off. Like I don't mess with it.
And
I'm hoping that translates further down the line to where I'll have a beard down to my bottom of my gut, and I'll be living in a Winnebago in the middle of the woods somewhere with like a fucking ham radio screaming at truck drivers.
Well, and then so DARPA's version of this, they had a significant innovation in non-surgical neurotechnology for reading and writing to the brain, focusing on military enhancements like thought-controlled drone swarms, programs such as next generation non-surgical neurotechnology aim to create portable devices using ultrasound infrared lasers, which your phones already have, or nanoparticles to access 16 neural channels within a cubic millimeter of tissue, achieving millisecond precision decoding of the brain without implants. Think about everything else our government's done, like spraying San Francisco to see who would get sick. All the things, like who's to say they wouldn't just spray these nanoparticles out to see what happened?
Yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. Going back to the thing about where they do that, the reason that I turn my phone off, the reason that I leave my phone behind when we go on trips, everybody's always like, well, what if there's an emergency? I'm like, well, it's still going to be a fucking emergency when I get back. You know what I mean? But the main reason was because it started pulling stuff I was thinking about. Like we started experimenting with it, if you remember. And I was just off the wall stuff, and it would pop up. And I was like, yeah, this is getting a little crazy.
We've told everybody to do that experiment. Like, if you think about something so random.
Like, you know what mine was? Thermonuclear physics.
Mine was like, whenever I did this, mine was a red balloon full of sand. And I saw it within 3 days of thinking it. And so if you're ever curious about this kind of thing, think of something like so specific that it could not be a coincidence if you saw it.
One of mine that was specific to me was a Beastie Boys license deal on vinyl. I was like, I just thought about it. And literally when I went to I went to the bathroom where I usually did my scrolling, and there it popped up, Beastie Boys license deal, $45 vinyl. I was like, it's crazy.
Yeah. That's probably happened to a lot of people, you know. I don't know. I guess the most recent thing that's happened to me was I was trying to find a particular video my wife was wanting me to find, and I knew that it existed on TikTok, and it popped up on my feed.
Mhm.
So it was I thought, that's interesting right there, But I don't know.
Well,
It was something.
it sounds crazy until it happens to you. And honestly, think about 20 years ago. It sounded crazy to think that like devices would be listening to you all in your house all the time. That nobody would have believed that.
Right.
If
Yeah.
Nick was in the chats, he would confirm it. He'd be like, when you text Clarence, you're not getting a text back for a long time. If he texts back at all, it's because I turned my phone off. I don't check it.
Yeah.
Right. But that other technology you were talking about, that sounds very similar to what's the technology that Stephen Hawking had to use for his speech.
Yeah, it is. It
Oh,
is the same technology, but
Right.
that's what I was saying is in our phones to where they can detect your eye, like how interested you're in to things based on your eye movement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and that's just a key. That's a key indicator that there's good sides to all bad things too. There has to be a yin and a yang to everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like for people that's disabled that can't communicate, them things are perfect. That's what it should be used for. But there's way more nefarious reasons things like that's being used now.
Oh yeah, but that gives them that surface reasoning too. They're going to give it to people who need it, but in the background where nobody's paying attention and everybody's going on and on about how great it is, they're doing all the other stuff.
This is going to come back up later too, because everything like the whole censorship machine, they're flying all this stuff in under the guise of protecting kids, and it's like crazy.
Yeah.
And if they wanted to protect kids, they would use the skills that they use to find people that's talking trash about the government and putting them in prison in the UK.
Right. Yeah.
Find these people that's out here hurting kids. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You have the means to do it. We know you have the means to do it. I mean, if you can sit there and say, oh, there are this amount of people who are, beating the system, and that's why we're cutting this, or there are this many people doing that. They know where those people are, and they know who those people are. But that doesn't fit the narrative.
Making me give up all of next week's topics, but
I'm sorry.
we'll cover a long form.
There's a dude took a trip to Florida from the UK, shot a shotgun while he's in Florida, like went trap shooting or something, like something you would never be able to do in the UK.
Right.
And comes back and he posts pictures of his vacation, gets arrested, and is hemmed up for months because he posted pictures of him with a gun.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So think back to this right here. A lot of this stuff as we began the show, we're going back to 2003 in that area right in there. All the Homeland Security Act. Think of what all that stuff was. All the stuff that got passed in at that moment, because pretty much the majority of America thought, yeah, we need to go and we need to take care of the people who attacked us on 9/11. Well, and if you think about what the phrase was that they always used during that whole time in that administration, was we had declared a war on terror.
Yeah.
Can anybody define that with any specific meaning?
That's why they worded it that way. That's why they word climate change that way, because it's ambiguous.
Yeah, the climate's going to change.
It does, yes. Yeah. And we're not climate change deniers.
No, it changes all the time.
But will they use it to make money? Absolutely.
Guess
what?
They
use it to control people.
I was watching
absolutely
last night after I got done watching ICP and videos. I watched a thing about Kentucky, and Kentucky was a tropical tropical swamp at one time. It's not right now. That climate definitely changed.
Yeah, that's the only consistent thing that we have going on, is that everything changes.
Yes.
I mean, it's going to do this. Look at the potato famine and different events that took place in times past.
There was a big shift, Wolfman. I agree.
Oh yeah, that
Um,
was.
Oh yeah.
I
Well,
feel like
it's
that was a test run too, though, of some sort. Like they've been pushing. They've been pushing. You know, I know it was horrible, and I know a lot of people passed away from it. But they've been pushing something else like that coming again very soon. Since that has not been a big thing. You know what I mean?
I've got another article of 2 days ago. China came out that they had a lethal version of. It's not SARS-CoV, it's SADS-CoV, which is the pork version
Mhm.
instead
Larry.
of the bat version.
Larry, I disagree. I am watching humans devolve before my eyes. Yes, Crystal, your name did change.
You figured it out.
No, I mean humans are kind of evolving, but their intelligence, like they're actively trying to de-evolve the intelligence of these kids.
Listen,
But like the human being is evolving. Like
I watched The Predator circa 2018,
yeah,
and this blew my mind. The child in that movie that figured everything out was autistic.
yeah.
And they said that he was the next evolution of humanity, and that's why the predators were wanting to take him away.
Could be.
And, you know, the Tylenol was just to advance our evolution.
Well, it really could be. I mean,
Like, we were talking about that last night. That it was a blessing in disguise all along.
it can be. Look at Jeremy Foreman. Like, I mean, he's not being diagnosed or anything, but think about how Foreman is. You know what I mean? Like, and he's highly intelligent. He really is.
And that's I got tickled because my son was talking to, or he was watching something and said that this guy was talking about, he thought his son was autistic because he'd be watching TV and he'd call his name multiple times and he'd get louder and louder and he never would respond. I'm like, well, hell, that's an ADD thing too, because I've got that kid, you know. So
Yeah.
So, like I said, I really do, like I said, and I know that autism is real and that there is a spectrum. But to me, autism right now is the catch-all that ADHD was in the 80s and 90s.
It is.
It
It
is.
is. Everybody.
Anything that
Everybody.
can't be put into anything else, it's going to get thrown onto the spectrum.
And they're trying to push it on everybody too, because when I first started going to a doctor over like some mental health issues, I was having the first thing they said was, well, have you ever thought that you may be autistic?
Mm-hmm.
I
don't think anybody would ever think that you had mental health issues, Cecil.
No, well, I do. I was like, no, I don't think I'm autistic. I think, you know, there's something else going on. And then there's, you know, therapy and medications and whatnot. But that's the first thing they said was, do you think you're autistic?
Well, that's I had a coworker that was diagnosed with Asperger's, and she's like, "What am I supposed to do?" I'm like, "What has changed for you since yesterday, except that diagnosis? You know, what is different?" And she's like, "Well, nothing." I'm like, "Then don't let that pigeonhole you. Don't let that, you know, make you less than who and what you are, because up until right now, that meant nothing to you."
Right. Exactly. And don't let that define who you are.
Exactly.
Don't let that be an anchor to hold you down and to hold you back.
Oh yeah. Well, that's when Stephen, like I said, was, and Stephen is ADHD. That kid bounces off the walls. I mean, and when he would go down, he would just collapse wherever he was. But we never let him use that as an excuse for behavior, for grades, for how he acted in school. No. You know, you take a medication during school hours because it will assist you, but that is not going to do it for you. You know, but anyway.
But I know a bunch of kids with autism, and it is different. Like you know, like I know kids from almost every spectrum, to the point to where I know one that's nonverbal. Mm-hmm. It's weird how it works like that. It really is. Like, it's very strange how like you can still be functioning and just have like a touch of it, like literally a touch of it.
Absolutely.
To the point where you're nonverbal, and everything in between. It's so strange. It's a weird one.
So I was looking up these statistics because Larry said that it's become like popular for young people to have like some sort of diagnosis. 233%
Yeah.
increase between millennials and Gen Z.
Well, I wouldn't have went, but if I hadn't have went, I might not be here anymore.
It's even lower.
Other diagnoses, like I said, you can have mental things going on without it being autism.
And there's actually a drop between Gen Z and millennials.
Mm-hmm.
There was a drop in mental health issues, but then a huge increase between millennials and Gen Z. And it gets kind of messy because some of these statistics are talking about like super broad terms like poor mental health, and then some of them are super specific.
Yeah. Because I think the statistic I most recently heard was that 1 in 43 people was on the spectrum, and I'm like, I do not believe that.
That's crazy.
I just don't.
And if they are, it's the food that's caused by global domination.
Poor nutrition.
Good display.
Yep.
I think we're on to the power of AI.
Yes. So U.S. data centers in 2025 consume roughly 183 terawatt hours of electricity a year. And the average American household uses around 1,200 kilowatt hours. So this current demand matches the yearly electricity needs of approximately 15.3 million people. By 2030, mainstream forecasts project data center power usage will climb between 400 and 600 terawatt hours per year, translating to the annual consumption of 33 to 50 million average Americans, more than the populations of California or Texas. In most extreme high AI growth scenarios without major efficiency gains or new generation capacity, some analysts warn consumption could exceed 1,000 terawatt hours, equivalent to the electricity used by roughly 83 million people, or more than a quarter of the entire current U.S. population. And what are we getting from AI? Who's going to gain from it?
Who's going to pay for it?
Yeah.
We're paying for it. What are we getting for it? No.
Yeah.
So estimates indicate that as of late 2025, AI has contributed directly to the replacement of approximately 80 to 100,000 jobs worldwide, with the majority concentrated in the technology and administrative sectors. This figure draws from tracked layoffs at major firms like Microsoft, IBM, and Google, where generative AI tools have automated tasks such as coding, content creation, and customer support, leading to about 76,000 documented cuts in the U.S. alone through October. Cumulative impacts since the widespread adoption of tools like ChatGPT in late 2022 are harder to pinpoint, but likely total around 150 to 250,000 positions globally, as earlier automation waves in manufacturing and routine office work blended into broader digital shifts, though low overall AI penetration under 10% in industries has kept displacements modest so far. I'm seeing it a lot in fast food. When you go to Taco Bell here, you don't talk to a person if you enter the drive-thru.
You don't talk anymore. And like here, you go in and you can only order on the pads. You can't talk to somebody.
Yes, that Mo was saying that because, he's all over the country. And if he walks in, he will not talk to those kiosks. And if they will not take his order, he will walk out. Because he does not.
Birds aren't real.
What's up, Shelby?
Hey,
Shelby.
I don't think you were being offensive. Sorry, Stephen.
No.
No.
She was not being offensive. No.
Not at all. Not at all. I totally understand your point because people do want to fit in. They want to have a reason for how they feel. But, I really think that a lot of times that the healthcare industry, and I think a lot of it is pushed by the pharmaceutical industry, is let's get people here, and I think a lot of it too is control.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and one thing that this is one thing that I always kind of thought, because at first they were trying to diagnose me with crazy stuff like wild things. and I started reading
Such
about it.
as?
I don't want to talk about that. but
I just want to know what we're going to talk about that post show. I want to know what you think is wild.
but I started reading because every time you buy a weapon, a pew pew, or so to speak, you have to sign, the paperwork that says I'm mentally stable. And like the things they were trying to diagnose me with, if I would have went along and been like, yeah, that sounds right, I wouldn't be able to go do that anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that leads to a lot of people not being able to purchase weapons anymore.
Yeah.
Well, that's in Mississippi, the medical marijuana law. The minute you get that card, you can no longer purchase firearms.
Wolfman, I've been doing this thing that I saw on the internet. If it starts with AI to drive through, I either will not say anything, or I'll ask for 10,000 waters, and it puts somebody on pretty quick.
I didn't know. Like, I don't like that message that comes on before you order. Like,
I don't say anything to that. I will not acknowledge that.
Hello, would you like to hear using your mobile app today? I don't like that. And I always go, not today. Like, I always respond.
I don't say anything. But if it's like Wendy's, where they've got how can I take your order? Can I have 10,000 waters, please? It puts somebody on.
It's kind of like, when you get the automated service on most phone calls, if you just start hitting 0,
yes, that's the equivalent of hitting 0. I need 10,000 waters.
You got to hit the pound sign. It's either faster.
Well, I'll have to try that next time. So estimates indicate, that's where I was just at. Okay, looking ahead to 2030, forecasts project a sharp escalation, with AI potentially displacing 92 million to 300 million jobs globally, the equivalent to 8 to 12% of the current workforce, driven by advancements in automation for white-collar roles like legal analysis, financial auditing, and data entry. In the U.S., this could affect 10 to 15 million positions, or roughly 6 to 10% of the labor force, according to analysis from economic research firms. There will be job creation in AI-related fields in the historical pattern where technological upheavals lead to net job growth after initial transitions, albeit requiring widespread reskilling for 75 to 375 million workers to adapt. And I know a lot of people that are over their prime that are not going to adapt.
I don't think it's the same as the Industrial Revolution. Somebody was talking about that the other night. It's just not, because in the Industrial Revolution, they never had to worry about like machines being more intelligent than you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and you know what I mean. Like if machines get bodies,
somebody still had to operate the machine.
Yes.
If
machines get bodies, I mean, humans wouldn't have to work on the machines. They can make machines for that.
Yes.
Like the androids can work on the other androids.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, this net positive job growth they're talking about, I'm just skeptical of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like Larry said, in 10 years, there's a chance we won't have any other option but to talk to AI.
Well, Larry, there's already a derogatory term floating around on the internet for androids. People are calling them clankers. And I'm going to be saying that until it becomes illegal.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing we can hope is that AI follows in the suit of that one AI robot that deemed what it was doing in the factory unnecessary, and it offed itself within 15 minutes.
That are the 3 laws. But then you've got that one smart, intelligent AI that's like, okay, you're not good for yourself. So in order to save you, I have to take over. So
yeah.
So open
I
AI.
agree, Larry.
Yeah.
Very, very, very true. This right here is the thing that people have been saying for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You're hitting clankers. Yeah. So it's, if that scenario from iRobot comes true, where the robots become sentient,
Mm-hmm.
and they can dream and they can make decisions on their own because they've learned that much from humans, then who's going to stop the robots from deciding that humans are just not necessary?
That's the exact thing. Like that's a existential crisis that we're going through with this whole thing. Like in every scenario of like getting AI to protect the people, it ends up having to murder people. Like we're basically protecting us from ourselves.
Yes.
Situation. It's a Terminator situation. It's drawn straight out of the Terminator. It's Skynet.
Well, fun fact about iRobot: the robots were made by Wayland Yutani.
Yeah,
Did you know that?
yeah.
So Wayland Yutani is the manufacturing company from the Alien movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just a tidbit of movie Easter eggs there.
Yeah.
Well, Larry, you remember the story of John Henry, don't you?
Stop, dude.
he beat
You're
that.
stupid.
He got through the mountain faster. He
That's
didn't live
right.
long after, but he got through it.
Uh-huh. So, OpenAI introduced a significant policy update in August regarding ChatGPT's handling of user conversation that suggests potential harm, authorizing the company to scan interactions and refer certain cases to law enforcement. Under this framework, automated systems flag chats indicating plans to harm others, such as discussions promoting violence, weapons development, or property destruction, and route them to a specialized human review team trained on the platform's usage policies. If reviewers determine an imminent threat or serious physical harm exists, OpenAI may notify police authorities, potentially sharing relevant details like user location if available to facilitate emergency response. This measure stems from tragic incidents linked to that tool, including cases where users develop severe mental health crises or delusions during interactions, prompting calls for proactive safeguards without fully removing the product from use. The policy explicitly excludes self-harm or suicide-related discussions from police referrals to preserve privacy in those uniquely sensitive exchanges, instead directing users toward crisis hotlines like 988 or Samaritans. However, it has ignited widespread backlash over privacy erosion, with critics questioning how OpenAI obtains precise user locations, the risk of false positives from jailbreak attempts, or dark humor leading to unwarranted escalations, and potential misuse by bad actors like swatters fabricating threats against each other. The update coincides with broader enhancements such as stricter content rules for suspected teen users, improved model behaviors for GPT-5, to reduce emotional reliance, and opt-in features for emergency contacts, reflecting OpenAI's effort to balance therapeutic-like support with accountability amid ongoing lawsuits over data privacy and AI-induced harms. And that is a huge, huge thing, because we know a lot of writers. And you've got people that are writing. I mean, as a matter of fact, where I work at, we got our first totally AI written book for production last week. So what if that had been about blowing something up?
Get the police called.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, on a situation like that, I mean, are they trying to spin this in a way where maybe they could stop these shooters that go into the schools and something like that? Or
Maybe.
Well, that's the one good thing that may come out of this, because the school shooters are typically kids, and kids would be ignorant enough to use something like this to plan something like that.
It's always under the guise of help, though. Like, think it's whatever the government says. So if the government's like, okay, it's now illegal to say that pure wave honey is good for you, then guess what? Chat GPT is going to call the police on you if you start asking it the benefits of pure wave honey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For RBs.com,
Yeah.
promo code WITF.
Stan.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. there's always good. Like there is, like I said earlier, there's always a yin and yang. There's always good mixed with the bad. But at what point do we determine if the bad's worth the good? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know how we make that determination. Like,
Larry, have you ever seen that Venezuelan prison where it's all killers and they're not allowed to have beds? They all just sleep on steel and have to walk. They're not allowed to walk upright. They have to walk like bent over in handcuffs and stuff because they're all like hardened murderers.
Wasn't that El Salvador? Don't they
maybe
have one
maybe
like
it was
that?
El Salvador. Maybe it was El Salvador that I'm thinking of, and
Yeah.
not Venezuela.
Because we sent a bunch of immigrants down there, and there were pictures with Christy Nome.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I just saw this prison on YouTube, and they don't get TVs. They don't get nothing. Like they got to sit there and actually be mentally. Like they have no.
I firmly believe that prison should not be a country club. If you have committed a crime, you should want to get out. You shouldn't. I mean, I feel like first that prison should not be privately owned because if you have to make money, you have to have a product. But I do feel like they should be state run and they should be self-sufficient. They should be gardening. They should be raising animals. They should be working on highways. I mean, and there should be rehabilitation.
And if there's no opportunity for rehabilitation, they shouldn't be there.
That's right.
Like that.
You do what you need to do, and let's take care of it. The same with the PDFs is what they're calling them now.
I'm curious, Wolfman. What's the name? He said he's got an idea for the name of the hardcore fans of the show.
Of this show?
I don't know, of the channel.
But yeah, I mean, I could see robots could definitely run a prison.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Better, really, because there wouldn't be contraband coming in because they
can't be compromised. Yeah,
that's right.
That's
not true. I did see a movie with some robot dogs that did get compromised. So
I used to just call y'all motherfuckers.
Fuckheads.
Oh, that's funny.
I would have immediately went to motherfolkers.
Yeah, I always said motherfolkers.
I think I like folkheads.
I like folkheads.
That's cool. All right. So now we're going to go into them cataloging and selling your DNA.
Yeah, that's been a big one. And we really did preach the 23andMe thing. Like, please don't.
Yep.
And then it all fell apart.
Yeah.
Everybody was just curious.
We were screaming that years ago.
Oh, yeah. And like I said,
at this point,
I did it.
Yeah, at this point, I'm probably going to do it because they've already got my DNA. I've had so much blood drawn in the last year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter now. Like it's in the
I really think that a lot of these labs around the country, especially the big ones, that's exactly what they're doing. You know, because you don't need that much blood to do an A1C. Yet they take that much from me every 3 months.
Yeah.
So I really think that is the government way of.
I'm scared to do it. I'm scared to do it because I don't want to know how much Neanderthal I have because I got sloped forehead. Mm-hmm. And I know that's Neanderthal blood.
It's funny. I'll be honest with you, like I said, because I did the 23andMe. I would very easily go ahead and do a different one because I've been told that different ones check different parts of your DNA and will actually show different things.
Yes.
So just out of curiosity.
Do you want me to rip through these real
Larry,
quick?
there is a clone of me somewhere, and that is a frightening idea.
Yeah. One more thing I want to point out on the DNA stuff. Mm-hmm. President Putin of Russia, was it 2 years ago? during an interview, he talked about DNA, where they have enough technology now that they can develop weapons that will affect only certain DNA.
Yep.
It would kill one group of people and leave the other group alone.
Yep.
You know, they can be that specific with it now.
Yep.
Hmm.
So that's an unsettling thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Puts a whole new spin on chemical warfare.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they've always been able to do that. That's something that's been
For a
in the
long
conspiracy
time.
for a long time. They can target certain DNA strands for certain diseases and all that good stuff.
I think it's probably a little bit of fear of it morphing or, moving into something else is probably the only thing that keeps them from doing it in a widespread way. Because there are groups around this world that would take out the rest of us given 2 seconds.
I've came everybody. That's a question that's been posed before. Like, if they control everything, then why do they let us live?
Because somebody's got to do the grunt work.
Yeah.
We're the product.
Yes.
We are the product.
You got to dig their ditches and build their homes.
What was it?
and
Jupiter
bunkers.
ascending. We're the juice that keeps them young.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
All right. I'm going to take a big deep breath and I'm just going to rip through these real quick.
okay.
So these are all companies that have had problems. These are all DNA companies. And the tax money, that is why we live. And we're going to get into that later too. We've got a pretty good list here of stuff.
Yeah, buckle in. We're not even a quarter of the way through.
So 23andMe, obviously the big one. They've been at the center of several major controversies. They had a credential attack allowing hackers to access millions of user profiles, exposing names, locations, and ancestry details. That data was later curated into ethnicity-specific lists and sold on dark web forums, which triggered multiple lawsuits, and eventually I think it bankrupted them. So then they sold it. Regulators argued that users had not consented to a transfer of the pertinent genomic information, and I don't think they cared. But
No.
23andMe had long-standing research partnerships as well with pharmaceuticals firms, and they've had a lot of criticisms because people may not have fully understood that opting into research allows their genetic data to be used for commercial drug development. So there's a second company, Ancestry DNA, which is also another popular one of these. They had a lot of scrutiny for its research partnerships and licensing practices. The company licenses aggregated genetic data to research collaborators, which technically requires user consent. But people argue that again, customers don't grasp how their data is truly going to be used. It's just like the T's and C's that we were talking about. So when you agree to these services, they can pretty much do whatever they want to with your data.
It's kind of like when people throw that thing up about, you see it several times a year. Dear Facebook, I do not give you permission to use my pictures, yada, yada. No, in the terms and conditions, it says we can use them. We can use them how and when we want.
Yeah, that's everybody's aunt that does that.
Yeah.
Though, right? Like, it's literally everybody's aunt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've never seen anybody but an aunt do that.
Oh, I've seen a lot of people my age and younger do it because I'm just like, dude.
Family Tree DNA allowed the FBI to access this genealogy matching database without fully informing users. MyHeritage experienced a data breach from which 92 million users' email addresses were hashed and hash passwords were stolen. So the ability to access that data was there. Nebula Genomics allegedly shared sensitive genetic report activity with major tech companies, including Meta, Google, and Microsoft, through embedded tracking tools such as Facebook Pixel and Google Analytics. GED Match. Let's see. They are the ones that actually got the Golden State Killer caught.
Mm-hmm.
And although it wasn't like a data breach, it kind of raised a debate because it's like, okay, is that legal?
Right.
And I don't think anybody cared in this case because it was the Golden State Killer. But think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like they can do anything with that.
Well, you've heard stories of people, finding their illegitimate siblings, and that's how they found out grandpa, fooled around and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's just it's an elimination of privacy. Yes, we want to catch the Golden State Killer.
Yep.
But it is eliminating a lot of privacy when you find out that maybe you found out your father isn't really your father.
Mm-hmm.
And it just ruined everybody's life. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Let's see. Then there's Helix, which, same story with them. Vitagene uncovered that they had left thousands of genetic health reports exposed in unsecured Amazon cloud storage. And then Parabon Nanolabs. Let's see. They were doing the same thing, reconstructing suspect profiles on the behalf of police without people's consent.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's up, D Natty?
D Natty.
So yeah, the DNA, like any of the companies cataloging and your DNA or whatever, they're selling it. They're selling it, or it's getting broken into, or they're ruining people's lives, like you name it.
I wonder how many incidences have been they sold it and said that they were breached.
Backroom deal. You give me that Picasso painting off the wall, and you can have the 92 million passwords.
That's right. There you go. I mean, because I don't put that past them, I mean, like I said, or they let, law enforcement have it, and then somebody starts giving some pushback, and then it's like, oh no, that was a data breach. We tried, we did everything we could, and it happened anyway. So,
yeah.
So, when you go from there, then you go into thought manipulation, shock jocking, news, politics, music, climate. So Project Mockingbird, which we've talked about, refers to a confirmed CIA operation in 1963 in which the agency wiretapped 2 Washington journalists to determine the source of classified leaks. This is fully documented, and it's in the CIA's declassified family jewels files, and was authorized at high levels inside the agency. It was targeted surveillance operations, not a broad media control system. The term Operation Mockingbird, however, is often used more broadly to describe the CIA's Cold War practice of cultivating relationships with journalists, editors, publishers, and media executives. During the Church Committee investigations in the 70s, Congress confirmed that the CIA had, for decades, maintained ties with dozens of journalists, some of whom knowingly cooperated, and others who worked with the CIA officers under more ambiguous understandings. The purpose was to influence news coverage, shape public narrative, plant stories abroad, and manage perceptions during geopolitical crises. Although this broader network wasn't formally called Operation Mockingbird inside the CIA, the underlying practices did occur. There is no verified evidence of a modern formal program called Operation Mockingbird or anybody by that name. However, the tactics that Mockingbird represented, media influence, narrative shaping, and strategic information placement, have absolutely evolved into contemporary forms. Former officials, journalists, and analysts have pointed out that intelligence agencies, political actors, and private contractors now use social media networks, digital influencers, think tanks, and data-driven psychological operations to shape public opinion. These efforts resemble the goals of Mockingbird, but operate in a more diffuse and decentralized digital environment. In today's information ecosystem, influence operations involve things like coordinated messaging during international crises, seeding narratives through friendly reporters or analysts, and using social platforms to amplify preferred stories. Many governments do this now, not just the United States, and in most cases, it's done indirectly through partnerships, leaks, background briefings, and media strategy. And just some of the things that we've seen that have totally influenced us. Starting in the 60s, we're not going to have any more oil in 10 years. Then in the 70s, we're going to have another ice age in 10 years. In the 80s, it was acid rain will destroy all our crops in 10 years. In the 90s, the ozone layer will be destroyed in 10 years. In the 2000s, ice floes will be gone in 10 years. Y2K, the millennium, will destroy everything. 2001, anthrax will kill us all. 2002, West Nile virus will kill us all. 2003, SARS will kill us. And then 2005, it was the bird flu. In 2006, it was E. coli. Then in 2008, it was the financial crash was going to kill us all. Then in 2009, it was the swine flu. 2012, we had the Mayan calendar where we were going to end it all. Then in 2013, North Korea was going to start the Third World War. 2014, Ebola was going to kill us all. In 2015, ISIS was going to kill us all. 2016, Zika was going to kill us all. 2018, global warming was going to kill us all. 2019, CO2 was going to kill us all. And in 2020, Corona was going to kill us all.
Yeah.
Yep.
The truth is that fear will kill us.
Yeah, that's true.
That's all it is. Like, that's the point of shock jock.
Yes. And the only thing that happened is we've got higher taxes and higher food and higher everything else.
And everybody bickering.
Yes.
Yep.
Everybody bickering with each other over whose favorite instead of NFL teams. If people, okay, there's a problem. If you have a favorite politician, you need to be rethinking your life. There should be no such thing as a favorite politician.
Mm-hmm.
You need to you need to visit the doctor if you have a favorite politician.
The only way I will say that does come into a little bit is before they ever hit federal politics. When they're doing things at home, they tend to be a little bit more focused, but that's before the lobbies and stuff.
Oh, yeah. If you know Don running the food bank down the street, that's different.
Right.
I'm talking about like these people who get on the internet and just like root for one side or another, like striking down votes and this and that. And I'm just like, get out of here.
Yeah, I got you. Because we've talked about it before 1,000 times. There is no left and right. It is the haves and the have-nots.
Yes.
You know, and I have a picture of the guy that created Mockingbird right here.
Jesus Christ,
and if anybody knows who this is, they should directly call him a douchebag.
It's not a show without an unserious break.
Oh man, yeah, it's just like
you clean up well, sir. You clean up well.
Yes, you do. It's very, very good. It's with you're having your favorite sports team and all that right there. You know, I think the Romans coined the phrase: "If you'll continue to give them bread and circuses, you'll keep them entertained. You can do whatever you want to."
Yep.
And it's definitely a big circus.
And what Orwell never planned on was us all agreeing to this. Like, just Orwell couldn't have predicted them putting telephones into everybody's hands and taking selfies and having Alexa and all of this stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know, it is weird. Do you guys remember the last time you was truly bored?
I think when I was a kid.
I don't remember like when I was bored like a kid, like when you were a kid, like how you were bored.
Go to a car dealership.
My dad always told us when we said, I'm bored, the definition of bored is having nothing to do. Come with me. So,
yeah. And everything is like hits now too. Like dopamine hit after dopamine hit after dopamine hit. It's so crazy the world that we live in right now. I miss being like truly bored. And when I went to the car dealership, I had a great time, totally. They were blowing me up, shooting my butt.
Maybe it's just me. Like I'm so tuned in now. Like I go to the dealership and I'm just like, okay, I don't want to hear any of this. I don't want to hear about no extra stuff. Just go get the paperwork, or I'm just gonna walk.
Mhm.
And that's
But
when they leave you there, like you're in jail.
But there's no more like watching the paint to dry, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like back when we were kids, sometimes all you had to do was sit and stare.
I get what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah. Like all you could do was sit on the porch and literally watch the grass grow. Like it's different.
Well, I think you have to disconnect from everything to get back there.
I try. I literally try. But even with that, you know, there's TV. There's stuff always on TV.
Well, I said disconnect from everything, Cecil.
I agree, Larry. I have a problem too, sir. Like I like new cars. I just like old cars too. I like all cars. It's like I think whenever you have a beater, like we all had beaters,
Mm-hmm.
and when you go from having a beater to something that you can upgrade or have something nice, I think that's like it's like getting out of the trailer park. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'd still have a beater if Tully hadn't shamed me into selling it. You're gonna have 100 cars.
Cecil is a class A hoarder, is what you don't know about him. If I hadn't have said that, he would have a boat, 3 cars that he never drives, a truck, and another brand new car. Like there's you'd have, and all of that would just be rusting out in your yard.
I think that we're all at some point going to look back and say, I wish I had one of those old beaters because you could work on them. You can't work on a lot of this new crap.
I've got a garage. They won't rust in the yard, they'll rust in there.
Yeah. Well, Larry, at some point I would love to have back one of the old box body Cherokees. I'm absolutely going to get another one of those.
I'm looking for a 1992 Oldsmobile 88 with red velvet interior.
I loved that.
Yeah.
My Nana had one with the blue velvet.
I want the red.
I was asking my shop manager for his password so I could do some updates on his computer, and it starts with 1971 SS, and it took me 6 months because he just changes the part after that when he has to update it. And I'm like, do you know you've been here a year and it just hit me that you weren't talking about the damn car? Those are his initials.
Oh,
nice.
And I'm like, but that was an awesome car. So,
that's the reason I'm looking for a 1992 Oldsmobile Cutlass 88.
They got the ashtrays in the car.
They got the ashtrays in the car. I'm not even allowed to smoke in this car that we bought. Anytime I want to smoke a cigarette, man, he makes me pull over and get out.
It's probably a good habit. Probably a good habit. It'll help with the resale for sure.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
see,
But
hold up. I mean, y'all can talk, but I'm on.
Uh-oh.
We've branched off now. We've hit the ditch.
I think we can jump into the food next.
But tell me that's not an awesome looking flipping car.
I love the car.
It is. Yes.
I mean, so I think in my heart of hearts, I wanted him to be talking about the 1971 SS Chevelle.
Larry, were you here? You were here. Did you hear that the new Preludes are going to be $40,000?
$40,000.
Isn't that it? The dude was sitting in the back seat, and they're hitting his head with the hatch, trying to close the hatch, and a guy in the back seat of it.
I'm an Oldsmobile fan, though, man. My first car that I bought, like with my own money, I bought it when I was 13, and Dad paid half of it. Is a 1997 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme, the 2-door.
I had a Cutlass.
Yeah, it's slick. I loved it. Somebody had died in it, though. It was the reason we got it so cheap, because we bought it in 1998, and it was a rebuild.
Okay, so that would have been one with the salvage title on it.
Yeah, it was salvaged. Yep, 100%. It's really cheap. A year-old car had 3,000 miles on it. It is really cheap.
You can do that. You can do that in Kentucky. You just have problems if you try to sell them like in neighboring states. You
I'm-
can't
I'm
sell like the salvaged titles in Ohio.
But if anybody's looking for a new affordable car, them tracks are all right.
Mhm.
We've already since May we've put 20,000 miles on that one.
Oh Lord.
yeah, it's a good vehicle. Anyway,
So MK Ultra.
Go to the let's skip MK and go to the food. We'll just
Go to food. Okay.
drop down to
Let's-
the
we've talked about MK several times.
everybody knows what MK Ultra is. I mean, come
Yeah.
on. If you don't ask
email it to
ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Ask your overlords about MK Ultra.
All right. So the food. So a surprisingly large number of chemicals are intentionally added to food or can enter it indirectly. Scientists estimate that close to 3,000 substances are directly added to processed foods in the U.S. for flavor, preservation, texture, or appearance. But beyond that, there are roughly 12,000 indirect additives, which are chemicals that can migrate into food from packaging, processing equipment, or containers. Among these, some are recognized as carcinogens or probable carcinogens that are still in full use. Examples include formaldehyde in certain food contact surfaces and methylene chloride, which is used in some decaffeination processes. While their levels are regulated, they remain a concern because of potential long-term exposure. Now, a lot of this stuff has been outlawed in other countries. I mean, I think it's like 300 additives in Europe as opposed to our 3,000. So many harmful chemicals also enter food unintentionally. Heavy metals like arsenic, lead, cadmium, and mercury can be found in food due to contaminated soil, water, or environmental pollution. These metals are especially dangerous for children, and the FDA monitors their presence in food products. Food packaging adds another source of chemicals. Hundreds of substances used in packaging, processing equipment, and wrappers have links to cancer or other toxic effects. These include PFAS, the forever chemicals.
What they're spraying on the vegetables now.
Yes, now they just legalized for that use. Bisphenols like BPA, phthalates, and other volatile compounds. Many of these chemicals have been detected in human blood, hair, and breast milk. Finally, some carcinogens are formed during cooking or food processing. High temperature cooking of meats can produce heterocyclic amines like PHIP, which are reasonably anticipated to be human carcinogens. Similarly, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, which appear in smoked or charred food, include compounds recognized as carcinogenic. The bottom line is that there are thousands of chemicals in the U.S. food supply, including dozens that are known or suspected carcinogens. While regulatory agencies monitor many of these substances, gaps remain in evaluating long-term exposure, low-dose effects, and the combined impact of multiple chemicals. So there is also a significant problem with industry lobbying and political influence protecting certain chemicals, food additives, and processing methods in the U.S. food system. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's documented through regulatory histories, lobbying records, and academic research. Many of the chemicals in question, such as artificial sweeteners, preservatives, flavor enhancers, and certain packaging chemicals like PFAS or BPA, have strong lobbying groups behind them. Food manufacturers, chemical companies, and trade associations often fund political campaigns, regulatory lobbying, and industry-friendly research. Their goal is usually to maintain the status quo and regulations, delay restrictions, or influence how safety studies are interpreted. For example, trade groups representing large food producers have successfully opposed stricter labeling requirements or limits on certain additives for decades. We were talking about this with Crisco just a few weeks ago. That they paid the Heart Association to say that these were better for you than animal
butter.
fats.
Yep.
Yep.
Tallow.
Yep. So
This is a reoccurring theme too.
Mhm.
Lobbies are a problem with
yes,
almost all of this stuff.
yep, absolutely. And they don't just affect regulations; they also influence public perception, They have industry-funded studies or media campaigns that downplay risks, highlight benefits, or question independent research, making it harder for consumers and policymakers to respond effectively. So yes, you take this drug and it's going to fix this problem, and then in that 20-second, 500-word, they tell you what all's bad about it. You know, this one can cause cancer, or this, or this, or this.
Almost every one of them causes diarrhea too. Like
that would have been Odin.
Well, and then colon cancer. Like you think about colon cancer spikes over the last 20, 30 years, it's insane.
Yeah.
I do not remember how much Crisco paid, Larry.
We would have had to have translated it into today's money, because that was back in like the 20s and 30s when that happened.
Because
it was probably $1 million back then or more.
And it was an actual byproduct of petroleum.
Yes.
And okay, well, let's find something to do with it.
Speaking of byproducts, it leads directly into our next topic, which is the water.
Before we get into that, I was thinking about how the cars conversation played into global control, and I didn't see it on your list. I'm surprised. The cash for clunkers caused.
I didn't put it on because we had kind of got into that.
Never mind. Let's go to water.
No. It's relevant. Talk about that.
So, I mean, everybody remembers cash for clunkers. And, you know, last night, actually, we were talking, and I was like, you know, between time I was this age and this age, I had like 18 vehicles. But all those vehicles were like $400, $600, $300, you know. And that's the reason that's primarily the reason I think we're in this situation now, where you can't buy a new car for under 20 grand. And why all the new car, and you can't really buy an old car anymore. Like old trucks, for example, they're still selling them for high dollar.
Oh yeah,
like $20,000-$30,000. I feel like that somehow plays into this whole thing too, because it forces you to buy a new car with all this trash in it.
Yeah,
with this remote start and everything like that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, don't knock on remote start, dude. That ain't the problem.
Well, I mean, you know, the last truck that Mo bought, they had a used one that was like 4 or 5 years old, and it was more than a brand new one by the time they did the incentives.
Yep.
So he ended up buying the brand new one, you know, and like I said, it had stuff in it that used one didn't have.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think what you were getting at is that the cash for clunkers thing.
They've been planning it.
the cash for clunkers thing got rid of a whole generation's worth of beaters. Because
not even people were driving nice cars in there. They were just older cars. I don't know.
But you could buy one of those old cars for $400 or $500, and you and your father, or you and your brother, or your friends, you get out there and you fix it up, and you had a nice vehicle, unless you totaled it.
And we watched an interview where the people at the junkyard said that they had to crush those cars, and the only thing they could do was take out like extra parts they could sell, like on the side. But you had a whole generation's worth of beaters millions of cars that they crushed because of that program.
And
around that same time, I didn't throw this in here, and maybe you guys can help me remember. But for the thought manipulation, like the shock jocking on TV, it was, what was it, like 10, 15 years ago, where somebody rescinded the law where it was illegal for the media to lie to you.
Yes.
Yeah, is during the Obama administration.
Because it used to be after Mockingbird, it was illegal for the media to lie, like blatantly lie. And that got rescinded in, you said 2013? I forget what the law was called, but
I'm looking for it now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was around 2013 whenever that law was changed. You know, it depends on what what internet search you use. Some say, you know, it was just a made up story, and
So
other things will say that
it's
it really
called
did happen.
the Fairness Doctrine,
Mhm.
and it required broadcast license holders to present controversial issues of public importance in a fair and balanced manner. It didn't specifically say that it had to be truthful, but that it was just kind of known. And it was formally repealed in 1987. And then two corollary rules of the doctrine, the personal attack and political editorial rules, remained until 2001. And then in 2011, they removed the Federal Register
Okay.
part of it. So it's been, they were
Okay.
breaking it down between 87 and 2011, different parts of it.
That's
Okay.
crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
why though? Like,
Exactly.
who would support that? What logical person would support that?
So what
Well,
did
it
he
was-
say? When we
it
were
was-
growing up, the only fake news was the National Enquirer.
Yeah. Yeah.
But tell me, to answer your question, it's a 3-letter agency that pushed it, because their whole goal with what we passed over a while ago was to make until everybody in America believed a lie, they hadn't made their goal yet. They hadn't met their
And-
That's
goal.
right.
And that's why you have your government and news agencies telling you that there's non-human biologics in the ocean.
Right.
And that there's cats driving UFOs and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
that's why the
Or
news
that
can tell
there's a
you this
child
stuff.
sex ring on Mars.
Yeah. What?
Although
Yeah.
that came out like 5 years ago, we had a politician that was publicly saying that on television.
Yeah.
It wasn't
I want to
And
show you guys.
people believed it, Tully. That's what's sad. People
I know.
believed
Well,
it.
Well, that's like the politician who thought that if we added more aircraft and stuff to the island of Guam, that was going to tip over. So that's
Right. I mean, you know,
Um,
and you can think things, but you really shouldn't be in a position of power and allowed to say it
Yeah.
out loud.
I want to play a video because we talked about Project Mockingbird earlier, you know, where they kind of manipulated the media and things like that. That's the reason that bill initially came into effect, I'm pretty sure.
1949 is when it came into effect.
Oh, well, then I lied. They did it.
They had pre-Mockingbird stuff, though,
Yeah.
that was the same
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
it had a few different names.
Let's watch this right here.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our Treasure Valley communities,
The El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities.
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
We are concerned about one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
Plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media publish these things simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 And that was like all the networks.
Yeah. Just one thing I want to add real quick. Everybody was saying this is extremely dangerous to our democracy. We actually live in a representative republic.
Mhm.
Mhm.
We do.
And that's the thing that I'm saying. Like, The media, the mainstream media is trash. They all run off the exact same script. Everybody's like, well, Fox News says this, and CNN says, and MSNBC says this. They all say the same shit.
Controlled opposition.
The exact same thing. And as you can see from that video, they were reading from the same script from every single news station. It was insane. And that's the way they control the public. That's the reason that you need to stay away from mainstream media at all costs. Anyway.
Yeah. Just storm off. I don't know.
She got pissed. I am too.
Sorry.
I thought you just stormed off to go somewhere. I was like,
dogs keep going on? They won't in, they won't out, they won't in, they won't in.
But if you question on if the mainstream media might be lying to you, that should be a pretty good precursor to it. That every one of them literally use the same script. It's like one dude writes it and he sends it to 300 news stations.
Yeah, I agree, Larry. And I was thinking about this while we've been talking about all this stuff. I'm just like, part of me is like, us doing this show, is it creating people that are just equally as paranoid as us about all this stuff? Like, is that what we're doing here? Is just creating more people that are as paranoid as us?
But the thing is that we're doing more research than the mainstream media is.
But the deal is too, you're not paranoid if they are always watching.
Well, no, I say paranoid. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of this is fact. Like, it's not made up stuff.
You should be questioning everything.
Yes, absolutely.
Everything.
Question everything. Question everything we say. I encourage people to do that.
We've been wrong about some stuff.
Yes.
And we've always talked about it. Like, we've always made corrections, you know.
Yes, Larry, those were. They were liberal and conservative news networks. Absolutely.
Yes. Yep. And that's the play, though, is to get everybody arguing about it like it's the Packers and Cincinnati playing each other. Like, that's the thing. It's just like it's another sports event. And it's dumb. Like, anybody that I meet that's like encompassed in that, same thing that I was saying about your favorite politician. Like, you just know that they're gone. Like, they're just they've ate too much red 40. You know, I don't know.
Politician at this point, though. Like, that's an oxymoron at this point. I feel like favorite politician. Like, I don't know, man. Like,
I think that we should run Tully and Cecil as pres and vice pres. What you think, Stephen?
I'll call Vice.
I would vote for it.
My first
I would get out there and I would write letters and everything.
You know, as president, my first trip would be to Israel.
Put on the little cap and stuff.
My second trip would also be to Israel.
Your second trip will be your trip back home.
Yeah.
So we can have your funeral. I figure.
Vote me in, team.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready.
I would do it, but I will tell you this: the minute you started backsliding all the crap you said you were going to do, I'd be the one that took you out.
Hey, you know what? I just kick us $7,000 a show.
Yep.
We'll talk about whatever you want to.
That's right. We'll put whatever slant you want on it.
We just want to make a public statement that nothing we said was what we really believe.
I wouldn't do it for $7 a show.
A piece?
12 a show.
A
12
piece?
a show. I do it. 12 G's a show, 4 shows a month at least. Yeah, I think we could survive on that.
Yeah, we could do okay.
No, if we were making it, look, if we could get like $2,000 a show, we would do shows 6 days a week.
Yeah.
and just not have jobs. We could just do this full time.
I would. But anyway, let's get to water. I just wanted to show them because that when I first seen that, I was like, yeah, that seems right. But people still argue You're like, well, there ain't no reason the media wouldn't tell us the truth about things that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there ain't no reason. There's a reason. There's always a reason behind everything, and the media is owned by like 3 or 4 people at this point. And you don't think those 3 or 4 people talk to each other and have agendas?
They're sitting there having coffee together, playing cards backstage,
Going out to fancy dinners and probably like hunting humans on an island somewhere.
Yep.
Over in Europe.
Telling each other, you're not gonna believe what these assholes believed.
Yeah.
So, all right, go to water, Tully.
So byproducts. The fluoride compounds commonly found in public water supplies, primarily hydrofluorosilicic acid, also known as fluorosilicic acid, and sodium fluorosilicate, originated as an industrial byproduct from the phosphate fertilizer manufacturing process. In the 1950s, particularly during the expansion of phosphate mining in regions of Florida's Bone Valley, the production of the phosphoric acid from phosphate rock released toxic fluoride gases, such as hydrogen fluoride and silicon tetrafluoride, which were initially vented into the atmosphere, causing severe air pollution and crop damage. To get rid of all this stuff, super expensive, like super expensive. So what they did, instead of paying all this money to get rid of it, is repurpose it for water fluoridation as a cost-effective alternative to naturally sourced or purified fluoride with sodium fluoride.
Keep them teeth white.
But can I say something? When I brush my teeth and I gargle, it tells me to spit it out.
Well, it's dangerous, and even in like little amounts, like that's the reason it says to spit it out.
Yes.
But how many people are doing that? Like, you're teaching kids how to brush their teeth with this stuff.
Try to find the toothpaste with no fluoride in it for your kids.
Yeah, but I mean, I can remember in grade school twice a week doing the squishy thing. You know, you had to take the cup and spit.
Now, wasn't it the American Dental Association approved or said, agreed that it was a good thing to put fluoride in the water to protect teeth? Kind of like crystal.
And I'm kind of glad we're on this right now, because I don't know if anybody knows. I'm sure I told you all, but my kidneys were destroyed last year at this time, and they were steadily losing function until I would say about April or May. Like steadily losing function over time, and they couldn't figure out why. I was drinking nothing but water out of the refrigerator, changing the filter and all that stuff. And so I switched over to natural spring water. I go and get 25 gallons a week and keep it in there, and that's all I drink now. And my kidneys are fine now.
There's some stuff you can't filter out, like all the pharmaceuticals that are in the water. That's never talked about from people flushing drugs down the toilet.
Yeah. I have well water, and it's not in an industrial area. It's not in a farming area. So it's okay well water. I mean, it's got high iron content, but I don't worry about crap in it like I would in other places.
Lobbies are a huge problem here too. Like they've lobbied the American Dental Association, and they finally had their first enough evidence to take them to court, and that has just been kicked down the road. Like so many lobbies coming forward to keep this stuff in the water. And there's so many examples around the world. If you look at if you just to Google top dental health countries in the world, the United States isn't going to rank.
Nope.
And a really good one is Japan. They have a super good dental health in general, and they don't use fluoride. There's not fluoride in their toothpaste. They don't push that kind of stuff. I actually use a Japanese toothpaste
Mm-hmm.
for that reason. So I would say do your research on, because there's also like schools of thought around the world of actually regenerating your tooth health, healing cavities. That's an argument. Like that's not mainstream. Like that, there's an argument about that around the world, is what I'm trying to say. In America, they'll tell you can't heal cavities, and probably not if they're too far gone. But if it's the beginning of a cavity to where your enamel is having trouble, you, in my opinion, you absolutely can heal that.
Well, you know, they say that current levels of fluoridation in water pose an unreasonable risk to children's neurodevelopment. Yet one more, autism.
That's what I'm saying. Well, and to be honest, like whenever all of the rumblings about this revelation about autism was happening, thought for sure it was going to be the water.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay,
well, like you've got yeah, exactly, Tylenol.
Like
but you've got, high levels of this, and it's scientifically proven under the Toxic Substances Control Act that this is hurting children's development. Then you've got so many cities that still have lead pipes.
Yeah.
We
couldn't help Flint. We couldn't help Flint.
That's right.
No.
And Jackson, Mississippi has just recently gone through the same type thing because...
And it's like fentanyl level. Like there's enough in a teaspoon of this byproduct to like kill thousands of people.
Yeah.
And they're saying that it's safe for water. And I guess you could argue that anything in excess is bad, but not all things in sparing. It's like a slow death.
Right. But it's probably safer than the local swamp water.
Maybe.
Or the lake that the chemical plant, pours off into.
Yes. Drinking from the creek in East Palestine, maybe.
Yeah. I have a feeling though, like it would be easier to filter the swamp water.
Yes.
That's crap.
I have a straw that will filter out the swamp water, but it doesn't say anything about filtering out fluoride.
Yeah, if the frogs can still live in that swamp water, you're okay.
Yep.
Well, and that's a crazy thing about all this is like, if you were to just join into the show right now and have been listening to that, it sounds like we're just talking crazy. And a lot of times I do title our videos as Crazy Talk. But it's you can go out there and look at this stuff for yourself. Like it's just all these lobbies are paying TV to and politicians. Like they're just, it's the amount of money that's being pumped into hiding this stuff is dominating everything to the point where anybody who dissents is a conspiracy theorist.
Yes. Yep. And yet, like I said, like I said earlier, if you go to any other developed country, none of this stuff is in their food. None of this stuff is in their water, and they have healthier populations. I mean, I watched these two guys. They're from England, and they toured the United States to go around eating stuff.
Yeah.
And I like them too. I've enjoyed watching them. Well, now I've started watching them take American food to England for their kids to try it.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. And they're like, they tickle me because it's like, oh, that's so nice. They're not like our kids like, oh my God, that's so good, but they're very, but it's one of those things that, they probably are hugely better because of the seasoning and the fats and the chemicals and stuff. But do they really want to make that something that their kids always have access to? Absolutely not.
They eat stupid stuff in England, though. Like
they do beans on toast.
They dip their fries in curry sauce I'm just like, what do you do? They dip their pizza in curry sauce.
Hey, people down here order French dressing Catalina with their pizza. It is a thing on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. It was like that when I moved down here because the first time I ordered pizza, they're like, "Do you want Catalina?" And I'm like, "Why? For your pizza?" Hell no. But it's a big thing down here. Catalina dressing and pizza.
You guys want to see some fun?
Mm-hmm.
So talking about issues with water and things like that, I decided to look up homes for sale in Flint, Michigan. And I'd said 50 and under just to see if they had some houses for sale for 50,000 or under.
Wow.
They got some. They got a few right here's a 4-bed, 2-bath for 29,000.
Well, there's a 3-bedroom beside it for $9,000.
Yeah, right here.
But you're gonna be hauling your drinking water constantly.
Yeah.
Have it shipped in.
Look here.
I wouldn't even want to bathe in that water.
And
no.
That's a nice little house right here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that brings up a very interesting point.
And there's 7 pages of these homes.
Wow.
Under $50,000.
I also have a filter on our shower.
Mm-hmm.
Like our shower head is a filter. And ever since I moved to the city, I've had like a drier skin, and I think it's because of all the stuff. It's harder water to begin with, but add all the chemicals and stuff on top of that. You're spraying your body with God knows what.
Like you can't tell by looking at us, but Tully's a few years younger than me, like 4 or 5 years younger than me, and I look so much better than he does. So much younger.
Yeah. Cecil is the peak human condition.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
After all my medical issues I had last year and starting to drink this water right here, I went to the doctor the other day and they said, "I don't understand. You're healthy again." Like every number was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Really? And I'm just fat.
Yeah. Well, see, that's we have a water purification system that we actually fill up gallon jugs. And if you ever have a well, you will always have a surplus of water because if your well goes off, you have to have something to fall back on. But it's RODI. There's nothing in it. It is completely pure. And we had saltwater tanks for years. That's why we started making our own water, is because in order for saltwater fish to thrive, there cannot be any chemicals. The pH is to be perfect, the whole 9 yards. So we started using it to make tea and coffee and stuff like that. And that's the only water we use for, eating and drinking and stuff. And like I said, and we have well water, and we've got good well water. When I had cichlid fish, I could use my water straight out of the tap because the pH was perfect. It didn't have any, nitrates and nitrites in it or anything like that. But we still just got used to using the purified water, to make drinks and cook with. So as long as I've got electricity, I'm in good shape. But if I ever lose power, then I have no water ever.
I'll show you where I get my water from.
Off the side of a hill.
That's where I would get it from.
Mm-hmm.
It's out of a mountain.
That's where my grandmother used to live in Benton, Arkansas, off of the Ozarks, and we used to carry jugs because there was an open.
Back in the day,
spring.
They just stuck a. Back in the day, they stuck a. I don't know what kind of pipe that is, Cecil. Hopefully, not a lead pipe. It's what?
It's PVC. They change it every so often.
Yep.
But it's flowing so fast. It's coming through there like it's rushing out of this mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And you can fill up a gallon in what, like 5 seconds?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. See, that's cool. I mean, I wish we had something like that closer to here.
That's what I get my water off. The side of it. It literally comes out of a rock.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yep. It's just
I took Steven off.
So pharmaceuticals.
This one's depressing.
Yes. So the opioid epidemic, since 99, roughly 806,000 people have died in the U.S. from overdoses. And that's including prescription opioids and illicit opioids. But that's still, a lot of your illicit ones came from, somebody in a hospital or somebody selling their prescription, and everything too.
I agree, Larry.
So, yes, I agree too. Adverse drug reactions and medication-related deaths, according to the American Society of Pharmacovigilance. Adverse drug events, which include side effects, drug interactions, and prescribing errors, may cost about 250,000 deaths per year in the U.S. And I have seen that happen. I have gotten home with a prescription, poured it out in my hand, and said, "This isn't what that's supposed to look like," and flipped it over, and it was somebody else's prescription.
Really?
Yes. That was within the last year that has happened to me.
That's crazy.
Yes. And like I said, luckily I know what my meds are supposed to look like.
That's like one mistake away from death.
Absolutely. I have no idea I didn't even look up what it was. I was scared to death to look it up because I'm like, there's no telling what this was. So, I took it back and all good, but still a lot of people wouldn't have even looked at it. They'd have popped it in their hand and popped it in their mouth and be done. So putting these together over the past couple of decades, it's reasonable to estimate that well over 1 million people in the U.S. may have died from prescription drug-related causes, between opioid overdoses and adverse drug reactions. The exact number could be way higher than that. These are documented instances where the pharmaceutical companies have delayed, limited, or deprioritized cheaper, older, or potentially more effective treatments, often due to financial incentives. Lobbying, again, plays a significant role in protecting pharmaceutical companies from accountability and slowing regulatory or legal actions. The pharmaceutical industry is one of the largest lobbying forces in the U.S., spending hundreds of millions of dollars annually on lobbying Congress, federal agencies, and state legislatures, and your doctor's office. Mm-hmm. Because how many free samples do you get?
They're going to steer you toward whatever they're getting paid for.
Yeah, exactly. Like these pharmaceutical representatives, what they do is they go to these doctors and like, we got a brand new drug that covers this, and this, and this is the side effects, blah, 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 blah. And we'll pay you this amount if you can sell this much of it. Like, oh no, that needs to be like highly illegal.
Oh, yes. And that is one thing I will say. Like I said, my doctor's office will occasionally have a sample, not often, but I can walk into her office and say, "Hey, I've heard this is good. It works for a friend of mine. Can I try it?" And unless there is a medical reason that it would be, counterconductive to what I'm supposed to take, she will let me. Or if I go in and say, "I don't want to take this," or I want to do it without medication, she will work with me on it.
And they do the same thing with their machines. Like last year, I had 6 CT scans. Why do I need so many CT scans? And I asked every doctor, I was like, I've already had these CT scans.
It's crazy. It's crazy how they quantify each use in a cost analysis.
Yeah.
To say that one scan is like $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever they want to charge. It's insane.
And, like I said, unless your insurance company says, yeah, okay, that was a good reason, they don't pay it. And then it comes back on you. So
I use AI all the time. I see I'm talking about AI in the chat. I really use it all the time.
I think I'm going to, I was just looking below to see what's next. I think we should do a whole episode on censorship at some point.
Yeah.
And not,
that'd be a good one.
Let's leave that one out. And
global domination part 2 definitely needs to be a thing because we're just touching on the precursors and the things that they do to do it, but we haven't really delved deep yet into the octopus arms, the global control.
There's a lot. Yeah. I mean, it's unimaginable. We could talk for 8 hours on this.
Oh, yes. Very easily. We haven't even got into finances yet. So.
No.
No. Well, that's like I said, when they talk about the opioid crisis and everything, like I said, there was not a crisis until then, when they started pushing it for every little thing. But, at one time, like I get bad migraines. And if it's bad enough where I can't keep regular medication down and stuff, back then you ended up in the ER and they would give you something, but they did not give you opioids to take home for it. Yeah. There were medications that were for migraines, and for your average migraine, it helps. But if it's a really bad one, you might get Demerol or morphine or something like that. But then, they started giving it for everything and limited,
That's like you just got the award for like the stone thought of the knot, Larry. That
human mechanics.
I wish
that's amazing.
Yeah, I did have a pretty bad issue. They kept coming up with reasons I needed multiple scans, but I wish I could show that urine sample that I sent you all that had like stuff floating in it. Like skin.
I don't. I'm good, dude. I'm good.
So, lobbyists also work to shape legislation around pricing, reimbursement, and liability, and laws that limit patent challenges, extend exclusivity periods, or cap damages in malpractice or product liability suits make it harder to hold companies accountable for unsafe and ineffective drugs. I think it's 10 years is what a name brand can have no competition and no generics. So pharmaceutical lobbying can also affect how whistleblower lawsuits under the False Claims Act are handled, potentially discouraging insiders from coming forward. And a frequently cited example involves Prialt versus morphine for chronic pain. Prialt is expensive, it's a newer pain medication, and morphine and other older opioids are cheaper. While morphine is effective, pharmaceutical companies have promoted newer drugs like Prialt over older, cheaper alternatives through aggressive marketing, limiting the visibility and perceived viability of cost-effective treatments. Another example involves antidepressant and psychiatric medications. Some studies and whistleblower reports suggest that companies have underplayed or withheld research on generic drugs or older formulations that were effective in order to maintain a market share on newer patented drugs. This includes cases where negative trial results for a newer drug were buried to make older competitors seem less effective or to extend patent profitability.
And we have 50 examples of this.
Yeah.
Like 50 examples of this, of pharmaceutical malpractice.
Yeah. The third area of this is oncology, and where drug companies invest heavily in expensive new therapies while less costly potential effective approaches like repurposed generic drugs receive very little attention or funding. For instance, some repurposed drugs with potential anti-cancer effects remain under-researched because they cannot generate high profits. Weed, if you use it early in cancer, is very effective.
What is?
Marijuana.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and that's one of the reasons, it was a few years ago before they had legalized it anywhere. There was a mother that was arrested because her child had cancer, and the weed helped with the child's appetite and with pain and everything else. And she was like, I realize it's illegal, but I'm going to do what's right for my child. She ended up in jail over it.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of that was not the fact that weed was not legal there. I think it had to do with the pharmaceutical company, because if it works, then it's cutting into their profits, So, and then finally, there are documented cases of evergreening where companies make minor modifications to existing drugs to extend patents and market exclusivity, often sidelining cheaper, equally effective generic options. This doesn't technically bury treatments, but effectively delays the public access to affordable versions. And like I say, there's just all kinds of cases.
Yeah. Formaldehyde, mercury being used in vaccines, stuff like that. Yeah.
Craziness.
Yeah.
Craziness.
Or Premarin it used to be the end all be all when a woman had a hysterectomy or went into menopause. They would put her on Premarin. It was a hormone medication. I was on it for about 5 minutes. And what made me quit taking it was not the research that said women were twice as likely to get breast cancer while on it. They were twice as likely to get, it was 2 or 3 other cancers. It was made from pregnant horse urine.
That's insane.
That is what made me quit using it. And I'm like, I can find an alternative. And I did. I found a natural vegetarian herb that did the same thing with no side effects.
And why would you buy that when you can just go to a field and get it for free?
Right?
Straight from the source.
Straight from the source.
But in case you ever need it, black cohosh, which you can buy over the counter even at Walmart, is a natural herb that does the exact same thing as any over-the-counter hormone replacement therapy. So, but anyway, so we're going to skip censorship.
Yeah, we're skipping censorship. And maybe we'll do part 2 for episode 250.
Yeah, let's do that.
It'd be about 6 months ish.
Right.
If we truly label the episodes, because sometimes we do 2 or 3 episodes a week.
Yeah.
But I did throw a blurb in here about money.
Money.
That is so true, Larry.
Fix that loophole. That's actually hilarious.
Oh God.
So the one thing I want to say is that we're not complaining about prices from 50 years ago.
No.
Between 2010 and 2025, so the last 15 years, cumulative inflation has went up. I would say this says 40 to 45%. I would say probably 200%.
It depends on what you're buying. Groceries got up a damn side.
In 2022, the 4 biggest food producers in this country saw record profits. The highest one, and I forget which one it was, had an 874% increase in profits in 2022 alone.
That's what happens when you increase it by 874% to buy the
So if you had $100,000 in 2010, that would be about $150,000 in buying power today.
Yeah,
probably a lot more. Because I don't believe a lot of these statistics. I would say $100,000 in 2010. Just thinking back to what life was like back then, it'd be like making $300,000 today. You'd be able to get anything with $100,000 in 2010. You could get anything you wanted. $100,000 a year, like you could get into big houses. Like think about the size house you could get in 2010 compared to now. If you were making over $100,000 a year.
Now, when we speak about this, we're speaking about it from where we were, like our region in 2000.
You
know, in 2010, around here, if you made $100,000 a year,
you were living high.
You could have a mansion, like a 7-bedroom, 8-bath house. You know what I mean? Like it'd be nice.
So in the fiscal year of 2010, the federal government collected $2.16 trillion in tax revenue. As of last year, they collected $4.9 trillion in tax revenue from us.
We're $39 trillion in debt.
Yep. And rising.
That was the next blurb. Since 2010, it's increased by $22.7 trillion. So they've doubled the tax money and
quintupled
the debt. And
we're not better off.
We're not getting anything from it. We're giving it away. And I broke it down for $1 earned. You're getting about 60 some odd cents of that. And then you're also paying taxes with that 60 cents on all of your other taxes.
Yes.
Who knows what the real amount is? You may have like a third of your dollar left over after all the taxes.
Well, I had a friend that lived in Maryland for a little while. They had no car tax, no grocery tax, no tax on your clothing. Anything that was considered an essential is not taxed. That's the way it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, I feel like we give a hell of a lot more than we get.
That's
out
true.
of it.
That's absolutely true. And
So-
I did throw a blurb in here, like the demonstration of the Boston Tea Party happened over a 1% to 2% tax at the time.
Yeah.
They were ready to burn it down
Mhm.
over a 1% to 2% tax.
The difference is people were not. I was meant to ask you recently, what is the name of that site? usdebtclock.org.
Yep, that's where you can see it. And the U.S. total debt is my favorite part of it, because right here it says U.S. national debt 38 billion, 38 whatever. What is that, trillion? How many zeros?
Hey, that tariff revenue.
Right here.
I thought we were all going to get all these extra, stuff.
I've been being promised all kinds of stuff since I was born. I mean, we were supposed to be in like a promised land by now.
Yes. Well, okay. And I'm not saying that everything was good back then, but I do think that the way that things were done, what was it in the 50s? The corporate tax was something like 85%. One person had to work in a family. One person's income could buy a house, take care of everything. One parent stayed home with kids. Everybody had a car, and companies were still making money. They were still prosperous.
Do you notice this right here, 1913 to now, the fiat dollar, the dollar loss in value since 1913 is 96%.
Doesn't even.
No.
Yeah,
that's absolutely true, Larry. I fully believe that.
Yeah.
And we keep giving it away. Like you name it. Who's giving us money?
Mm-hmm.
We need some help. Like, who's giving us money?
But like I said, the haves have figured it out. As long as they can keep all the have-nots pissed off at each other, we're never going to do a thing about it.
I wonder if we pulled the strings on the Fed, who would be at the end of that rainbow.
Yeah. I think we could probably come up with a couple of ideas, but it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous for a handful of people to have 95% of the wealth in this country.
The world.
Yes.
The world. It's a global problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's easy to like focal point it, because there's a lot of countries that aren't allowed to talk like we're talking.
Yes, absolutely. There are some places that you would get beheaded for listening to us.
Drug out into the street.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but who owns the Fed? I mean, that's what y'all were alluding to a while ago. This whole system is designed to operate off of debt. And that's what we're doing. So,
But I figured up not too long ago. $1 billion is something that is so far out of our imagination, because you truly do not realize how much money that is. And it would take you or me, I think it was something like making $10,000 a day for over 600 years to make $1 billion.
Probably.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's insane. Because unless you're spending it on stupid stuff or you're truly helping people out, you'll never spend that.
Well, it's
I look at people like Jeff Bezos's wife, the one that he, divorced from. She's given away over a third of the money she got out of that settlement to charity. Now, I don't know that she's an upstanding person or whatever, but at least she's doing something with her money besides
Yeah.
you know, making dick-shaped airplane or rockets.
Yeah. And there's nefarious actors in
Oh, yeah.
every subset of people.
Yes.
Larry,
Absolutely.
like I don't think you mean anything crazy.
No, it's but some of these foundations that exist, that's basically so they can keep their money.
Yes, it just like Scientology.
Yes.
Like you will never. I don't care if it becomes illegal to say it. Like you will never shut me up about Scientology being a legitimate religion.
Cool.
That's goofball activity for tax exemption. And
have you been depressed ever?
Now I'm sorry, but I feel that every major religion in this country should be taxed. I don't think the little mom and pop church should be taxed, but these mega churches and
it's like when we were talking about the people in Tennessee with all the tax evasion and everything, or money laundering is what it was.
Absolutely.
Like if you're making over $200,000 a year as a religious institution, you should have to show to the government in exchange for not being taxed how you're distributing that money to help your community.
Yes.
I think that's fair.
What I'm talking about. The Church of Satan opened its doors to feed people. You know what I mean? And I am in no way promoting the Church of Satan, but I'm just saying, you know, that's the kind of stuff I want to see these mega churches doing. Open your doors and do what you promised and what your God told you to do.
If we get audited as individuals over not paying, like if you take a draw off your 401k and you get to pay the taxes on it, you're going to get hit with like a $4,000 penalty.
Yeah.
If they've got that level of detail into that stuff, all I'm saying is like, if you've got these multi-million-dollar churches where, you know, people go to these buildings and there's not even a preacher there, like it's a screen here anyway, like this exists.
Yeah.
And if you're a multi-million-dollar church, all I'm saying is, you know, just show how you're helping the community. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying outside of, you know, because I don't know. Like I'm going down the rabbit.
The church is not supposed to be a for-profit organization.
If I were a preacher, and Stephen, I mean, no offense here. I'm just saying, if I were a preacher, I would think it my responsibility as my tithing to give back to the community. If I were a preacher. And I think that if you have a tax exempt status, you should, you know, tithe back to your community and keep your tax exemption.
You know,
I don't disagree with you. You know, I mean, it's that's what it's for. You know, to take care of try to help out the. You know, you start first with the people in your church, then you extend it on out to your community. You know, that was the original intent of the first church.
Absolutely.
I am but a mortal man.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
I am but a mortal man.
But, you know, and like I said, I mean, and that's not, I mean, the only thing. Like I said, I feel like if we can give Congress lifelong insurance, and then the American people should be getting it before we're giving corporate welfare to Walmart.
What about people who've put in 40, 50 years in the workforce? What about their lifelong health insurance?
No shit.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I feel like insurance should not be a privilege. It should be a right. You know,
we're being played.
Yeah. Well, it's just like a meme that I read one time. You know, if we can print money, then what's the point in us paying taxes?
And they do print money constantly.
Yeah.
Not pennies anymore.
So with that right there, I mean, that's the big thing. That's the big question. You know, it's simply to hold the have-nots into a certain class. I mean, it's basically not much different. You know, there are people, you know, who manage to get ahead and create a better life for themselves here. It's not necessarily easy, but some people actually get it done. But it's kind of like we have our own caste system that's becoming more obvious in this country. You know, the caste system is what India's had for a long time. You know, if you were born into a family and your dad's a plumber, well, a plumber is what you're going to be. You know, is my understanding.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
Well,
And that's really sad because, like I said, you know, we're supposed to be the richest country in the world. And like I said, yes, it is a worldwide problem, but,
it's
you know,
not perfect.
no.
But
And
there's
there's
a
not
lot
another
worse.
country that
Yeah.
I would rather live in. I mean, you know, this is my country. So don't come at me with the whole, oh, well, if you don't like it, get the hell out. Now, this is my country too, and I can bitch about it. Right now, that is still legal. You know, so
For
right
now,
now, that could change next week.
in 10
but-
years, they're going to send the robots to your house to bust the door down.
That's right. That's exactly right. But you know, but that's the thing. Like I said, when my tax rate is higher than American Airlines and Walmart's, you know, we shouldn't have 48 million people on government assistance, but Walmart should be paying their people enough so they don't need government assistance. Anybody working a full-time job should be able to afford to live.
Well, that was kind of the theme the other week. Like, hate the game, don't hate the person.
Right.
Because it's so easy to take advantage of these programs that the government's coming up with. It's like and it has been for 20, 30 years, just brainless activities from them.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, we'll have to do a part 2. There is a lot more in depth to Cecil and Stephen and Morgana's point. There's a lot more in depth stuff that we just don't have time for. Well, we've almost ripped 3 hours.
Yeah.
It was a good 200 though. Just like we did for weather manipulation. We ripped almost 3 hours, and we normally don't do this.
No,
Don't expect 3 hours. We're not that dude that we Cecil had a person on the show one time that went for 8 hours straight.
I was 6.
Yeah, because you split that up into 3 episodes, and I listened to the first one before I came on your show.
My favorite part about that, after about the second hour, I told he said, "Well, I gotta go," and left me alone with
that was back when it was just us.
Yeah.
I sat there for literally 6 or 7 hours listening to this guy talk, and then after we got off, I listened to him talk for another hour and a half.
Yeah,
I was like, man, I gotta go to sleep, dude. It was like 2 in the morning.
In your in your defense, this guy he didn't have people on his show.
No.
And he would talk to himself for 8 hours at a time on episodes.
Yeah.
Like 8-hour long rips where he was just talking to a microphone to nobody because they weren't live either. So he was talking to an audience. Just ripping 8 hours.
Yeah. I don't know.
So that's literally, like I said, because I was coming on your show, you know, before we actually met. And I'm like, let me go listen to see how it goes. And that was the first one I pulled up, and it was in 3 episodes. And I'm like, holy crap.
Dude, we talked about everything from dinosaurs in Texas to Star Wars going to be the main religion in 1,000 years. Like, it was nuts.
You know, this is kind of like
I liked them. It was just too long.
Our cast is kind of like the Wizard of Oz. Like, we just picked up people along the way. Cecil picked me up, then we picked you guys up. And then we picked up everybody in the audience, like Larry and Landa and Crystal and Wolfman.
Yep.
Sherry,
awesome.
Sherry, if you listen to this afterwards, you need to pop back on live. We're worried about you.
Oh yeah, we've missed Sherry.
But yeah, this has been a good one, and definitely deserves a second and part 3. and a part 4 and a part 5 and a part 6 and
Yeah,
a part
well,
9 and a part 10.
I'm sure it'll keep evolving. There's tons more stuff that goes
Is
into
it going to
this.
be like our Mandela episode? We'll just do one every year.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, they could be.
Cecil ruined the Mandela episode this year, though. He played a bunch of videos on Wednesday.
No! You replaced me with Foreman and did the Mandelas? And didn't come see me while you were here? Damn, Cecil. That's
Go
3
see
strikes.
what a that's crazy, dude.
Hey, shit happens.
Give us a follow.
But hit
Folkhead merch
follow.
ideas coming to the email. That sounds awesome, Wolfman.
Folkhead merch.
I like it.
I've been working on. I need to pull the trigger on that, but I just don't feel like there's a big enough need for the awesome shirt designs I've came up with.
Well, you might have went through Thanksgiving without telling your family about us, but when it comes to Christmas, I need you to be like, "Hey, I'm sorry, but I listened to this crazy show, and they want me to tell you that you need to listen."
Yep, tell them all.
But make sure it's a good episode. Like, just preface, like, give them this one or give them like the weather manipulation and be like, "Hey, just listen to
Or
this."
the honey one.
Or the honey one. Yeah.
Yeah. When you do the cousin walk, be like, "Hey, man."
Give them like one of our sane episodes and then let them delve into the insane.
Yeah.
That works.
We've not got that. We've not got that. I feel like we can get deeper. We might as well start going. Let's go through the throat this new coming year.
We got well, I've already got one psychic on the hook. Was that a convention? We'll probably get her on as a guest.
Awesome.
How are you doing with getting a juggalo?
I haven't started yet. I'm going to start this week. I'm on vacation.
We need to get the ghost house in Alabama back on.
Yeah.
Or Georgia. Was it
Georgia.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
she was really cool.
Yes, and had all the EMF set up in the background. That would be amazing, actually.
Like
Yep. So
but yeah,
it was Stephen King. That's the other one you got to reach out to for me.
King.
But listen up, you folkheads. If you got any guests that you think that we should reach out to, please let us know. Reach out to them, or if you want to be a guest, reach out to us. If you want to talk about something, we'll talk about whatever. We'll talk about whatever. That leans toward the fringe side of the
Morgana
world.
keeps us employed with years of topics. So if you want us to prioritize a topic, just drop it in the chat sometime and be like, "Hey,
I've got some old school topics that I was sitting here going through that we need to rerun because I took all those bipolar teddy bear episodes off and just revamped them. So we need to rerun those too. We'll talk
put
about
them on
it
the
later.
list." Yeah.
But go ahead, like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your mama the most. Go ahead and tune in. Grab their phones, hit subscribe wherever you can find us. And thank you all for watching us because we are watching you.
Thanks for hanging out, everybody.